Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with all the players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. And the rumour mill is in full effect today on Sunday. First of all, linking Arsenal with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, the player that I think lots and lots of Arsenal fans would love to see coming in at Arsenal. Some very interesting developments on this. If you remember rightly, I was talking about Aubameyang yesterday and saying that, you know, I can't see how Dortmund are going to be up for selling him, especially after losing Mats Hummels. They've got Mkhitaryan, who's in a bit of a, you know, contract dispute over his contract extension. And they've got the Champions League next year, and they really wouldn't want to lose another one of those big names. But there's been a big development on this, and it's the fact that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang was supposed to be playing for Gabon yesterday. They lost in a game, I think it was 2-0 to Mauritania. And some interesting quotes that came out from the coach. The coach of Gabon said, and these are his quotes, he said, he was asked by a journalist why Aubameyang wasn't playing, and he said, Aubameyang has asked not to be selected because he is changing clubs. Now, that is very interesting. Immediately, it's been blazing up all over the media. Where is he going? Which club is he going to join? Real Madrid, of course, who won the Champions League last night, have got to be one of the favourites because Aubameyang's always said he'd like to play in Spain, and Real Madrid is seen as one of the clubs that would really, really like to bring him in. Possible replacement for Benzema, but then you know what, after them winning the Champions League again, maybe they may be, you know, looking to keep hold of Benzema, which then starts to turn the attention to the Premier League, where the money is. We all know that Arsenal have been after Aubameyang before and would love to bring Aubameyang in. Manchester United, awash with money, also with Jose Mourinho now, apparently interested. I don't know if City will, but listen, the Premier League will be a big attraction. And this is going to be big news over the next few days. Unless Aubameyang himself comes out and calls it off, everyone's going to be saying, where is Aubameyang going to end up? Should Arsenal break the bank to try and bring this guy in? It would be about, you're talking about £70 million, I reckon. 60 plus, easy, to bring him in. His goal scoring record last week was amazing. He's seen as one of the best strikers now in the world. Do Arsenal break the bank to bring him in? Could he end up at even a Bayern Munich, thinking about it? Because we've also heard rumours that Real Madrid are interested in Lewandowski. If Lewandowski went from Bayern to there, Aubameyang to... there could be a full-size civil war over there in Dortmund if that happened. It could be the Premier League, it could be Spain. Where is he going to end up? Would you love to see him at Arsenal? Leave it in the comments below. Would it be worth paying that sort of money for Aubameyang? 70 million is what I reckon it could cost. Leave it in the comments below and let me know. And all the talk is about strikers sort of today for Arsenal, because L'Équipe, if you're not familiar, L'Équipe is a massive French publication, big newspaper over there in France. And they've come out today and they've said that they understand that Arsenal are definitely making a big shift with their transfer policy this summer, where they're going big on certain players. And the one area where they really want to go big on is strikers. L'Équipe is saying that, you know, Giroud is already resigned to the fact that next season he's not going to be the main striker, that another striker will be coming in at Arsenal. And they've spoken about 3 strikers that Arsenal are going in for, or, you know, definitely interested in trying to buy. Higuain is one, which would be amazing. Again, Higuain, we could have signed him a couple of years ago. You guys all know the story. Be worth, again, £70 million plus, which if he was... To me, if he was going to be paying it for Higuain or Aubameyang, I'd go Aubameyang, because he's younger. He's about 26. Higuain now, what, 28, going on 29. So there's Higuain that also apparently interested in. Jamie Vardy, which is a very interesting one. Again, a guy who's like nearly 30 years of age now, but apparently Arsenal really like Vardy. Would think he'd be perfect at Arsenal. Arsenal apparently interested in Jamie Vardy. I couldn't see Leicester selling their prize asset, but That's what L'Equipe's saying. And also the other player, Alvaro Morata, a guy we've spoken about hundreds of times now on the show. Alvaro Morata is another player. So those apparently, according to L'Equipe, are their three main targets at Arsenal. Higuain, who scored 38 goals last year. Jamie Vardy scored 24. And of course, Morata, who scored 7 goals. Which one of them will it be? I just want a big name striker to come in at Arsenal to really get the fans excited. And my preference would be Aubameyang, obviously, or Higuain, but it's probably going to boil down to Morata. But let's see what happens with these all exciting strikers being linked with Arsenal. Another player that's been linked a lot with Arsenal over the past couple of weeks is N'Golo Kante, midfielder from Leicester City. Now, again, N'Golo Kante, a lot of these players at the moment, they're away with their countries, training ahead of the Euros, playing friendlies, and they're getting questioned by journalists all the time. And the journalists are asking them questions about, are you staying at your club next year? Where are you looking to go, etc., etc. They asked N'Golo Kante the question yesterday. Very interesting answers from him. When he was asked about if he's staying at Leicester, this was his answer. This was his quote. He said, "For now," remember those words, "for now," "I am happy at Leicester. I do not pay much attention to everything that is said. For now," he said it again, "for now again, I am a Leicester player and I focus only on the Euros." All right, so that's interesting. And there's a publication called Get French News. They claim that Conte wants to leave Leicester, wants to join Arsenal. Arsenal is the club he would most like to join. We know about this buyback clause, release clause of 25 million euros. Would Kante leave, or is it for now he's happy? I mean, you always hate to hear players say things like that, although it could be just something that's lost in translation. Remember, he's French, so he may be, I don't know. But certainly if Kante was available, I'd want Arsenal to go in there and bite the hands off of Leicester to sign him. I know we've got Coquelin there. I know we've now got Granit Xhaka. I'd get Kante as well. He's an exceptional player. Another rumour about a player going out this time, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, linked today with a move to Leicester and Liverpool. Leicester and Liverpool apparently both interested in Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. As we know, he underachieved last season, but we all know he's got the talent to be a top player. He just hasn't showed it enough last season. Out injured at the moment. I still think that it's going to be a player that Arsenal are going to hold on to, going to give him at least one more year. He's still young enough. But what do you guys think? Leave it in the comments below. Should we cash in on Oxlade-Chamberlain? What about a deal Oxlade-Chamberlain swap for Kante? I don't know. I like Oxlade-Chamberlain. He feels to me to be part of Arsenal, and I really, really want him to succeed, but he's really got to show it next season. I think it's a do or die season for him next year if he does remain at Arsenal. And finally, wanted to talk about Mehdi Benatia. Benatia, of course, is the Moroccan centre-back. He's been linked with a move to Arsenal, currently plays at Bayern Munich. But of course, Bayern Munich have now bought Mats Hummels. And now that Mats Hummels has come in, it's looking like he could be surplus to requirements. We're being told that Arsenal's representatives have already opened talks with Bayern Munich about his signature. We need a centre-back. It's encouraging that we're being linked with players like him. We're being linked with players like Koulibaly from Napoli. Any of those type of centre-backs for me would be a massive plus at Arsenal. So let's wait and see what happens. But Benatia is a top centre-back. Had problems with fitness, but I think would be a great addition if we could get either him or Koulibaly, someone of that standard, in at Arsenal. I'd be all for that. We're addressing areas where we know there's problems at the moment. Let's get into your comments and see what you guys have had to say. Manuel Rios, this is an interesting one. Now, remember yesterday I spoke about Mesut Ozil and the linking him away, including one very strong one to Bayern Munich. Manuel Rios says, I remember, just before I read this comment, I said that, Ozil's come out and more or less said he's happy at Arsenal. Now, Manuel Rios says, Mesut Ozil said he wanted to stay at Real Madrid, and literally 3 days later, we sold him. I think he must be a Real Madrid fan. Yes, he is. I can see from his picture there. So 3 days later, he was sold. That's true. And this is why sometimes, as I said, there's no loyalty in football. Although in that case, he did want to stay at Real Madrid. A7 Mad 316 said, I've been watching Morata since he was at Real Madrid. He's not top quality at all. A very average player, very similar to Giroud, and Arsenal will not benefit from him at all. Oh dear. So he doesn't rate him at all. Roman Hoax also, in reply to that, goes on to say, me too. I don't know what some see in Morata. This guy is average. I think what a lot of people see in him, the managers around, is, as I said yesterday, they see a lot of potential, as well as a guy that they feel could hit the ground running, a guy that's played at the very highest level, but is still very young, and over the next few years could turn into be one of the best strikers in the world. That's how a lot of them are looking on it. Ryan Purchase says, only Wenger would go for Zapata when Lukaku, Aubameyang, Batshuayi, Higuain, Benzema and Lacazette are available. We spoke yesterday about Zapata, Udinese being linked with a move to Arsenal. He also went on to say, he said, the dude, he's only scored 8 goals, most of which are tap-ins. We need a ruthless 30-goal-a-season striker. If Zapata is so good, he wouldn't be loaned out for 2 seasons. Trafalgar says, Ramsey can just go away. I think Ramsey, remember we spoke about yesterday, Ramsey saying that he'd like to play in Spain one day. He said, I'd like to play for a club in Spain one day. He's taking his quotes. He says, first of all, you're 25. If you were going to be a top player in Spain, it would be now. Go away, Ramsey. Let's get a proper midfielder in. I think Ramsey obviously could be looking at Gareth Bale. I mean, Bale's left Tottenham. He's won 2 Champions Leagues now, you know. So you can see the attraction of going to these sort of clubs. This is why Arsenal need to get their act together if we want to keep these top-line players or get these top-line players. Baba OK says, Harry Kane suits Arsenal and will make those Tottenham fans mad. That'd be an interesting one. Dank says, I don't rate Zapata high enough to be the main striker at Arsenal. We need a world-class, proven striker. Ian Sample says, Alvaro Morata is basically the same as Giroud, but Spanish. We should really look for someone like Antoine Griezmann, Gonzalo Higuain or Zlatan Ibrahimovic. That's because they're proven goal scorers. While Morata scored a decent goal in the Champions League, it doesn't classify him as a world-class striker. And he makes some good points there. As I said, I think, you know, you look at some of those other strikers that he's mentioned there, proven, but when you're spending a lot of money sometimes with these clubs, they want a player that's going to remain at the club for quite a few. Listen, we know how Arsenal work. They don't want to buy players that in effect are going to end up not being worth anything. So if you bought Zlatan, yes, he's an amazing player, and don't get me wrong, I wouldn't even mind him at Arsenal, but then I can see the reasonings behind not buying a Zlatan because of the age thing, because of basically you're spending a load of money and you're not going to get any of that money back. But the return on your investment could be, and you're taking a chance, could be that it's a player that could drive you to winning the league. What do you guys think? I always like to know what you guys think about these things. Leave it in the comments below. Should we just go all out? Forget about the money. Just go all out on that big name striker that we all know that Arsenal need? Or are Arsenal being sensible when they're looking at a player like, say, a Morata, or they're looking at players that are still young, will remain at Arsenal for many years to come and can still go on to drive us to where we want to be? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching AFTV Transfer Daily. Don't forget, the competition right now is on Instagram to win that shirt signed by Robert Perez. And we'll be back around about the same time tomorrow. Enjoy your weekend.